What's up everybody, it's your boy Tone, I am back. Today we're gonna talk about how to expose for Sony's S-Log picture profile. Now I'm not gonna get into all the scientific details, all the nuances and ins and outs of shooting S-Log footage. This is just a general overarching level of how to expose for Sony's S-Log picture profile. Hopefully this video will allow you guys to now go ahead and shoot more S-Log footage and be more confident knowing that when you go in and post, the footage is gonna look immaculate. My Sony picture profile is set at the default profile. I think the detail is -7. I don't touch any of these settings inside the Sony's S-Log 2 picture profile. You're gonna need an ND filter. This is actually a variable ND filter, but I prefer the stackable ND filters. They seem to work a little better. Always worth it. Get yourself an ND filter if you wanna shoot S-Log. So I went ahead and shot 2 really quick scenes outside just to give you guys an idea of what goes on in my head when I'm shooting with S-Log. So here I'm shooting at an amphitheater in Los Angeles. Pretty sunny day, a little overcast. But the first thing I want you guys to pay specific attention to is the histogram. So the histogram is what I use first in order to expose my image properly for log. Nothing is clipping here. That is the biggest thing you can watch out for when shooting in log. You want to make sure that the shadows are lifted, which means you want to expose your image to the right side of the histogram. I'm using the Rokinon 35mm lens. Everything on here is manual, including the stops. So for me, in order to push the histogram to the right, I tend to open up the iris, going up to f11, f8, things like that, f5, 6, f4, etc., etc. I never touch ISO. I keep it at 1600 at all times. If you have an A7S1 3200, keep it at 3200. Once you start kicking it up past the base ISO that log was intended for that camera, you start losing dynamic range. So when your histogram looks like this, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have a good time in post when it comes to color grading and having control over your image. If you take a look at my histogram here, it's the same concept. I expose my image to the right as far as possible, keeping the highlights in check while keeping the meter manual at least a stop overexposed. This one is actually 2 stops overexposed. And because the meter manual is blinking, that means I'm beyond 2 stops overexposed. I might be 2.5 stops, 3 stops overexposed. So with the Sony A7S2 series, once you go beyond 2 stops, the meter manual just blinks. It doesn't tell you how many stops you're overexposed. You just need to know that you're beyond that point. So as long as your histogram doesn't show any clipping in the highlights, you should be pretty good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick color correction on these bad boys and throw a LUT on top. And there we go. And that is how I expose S-Log. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this tutorial style video, and I will go out of my way to make sure I do more content like that on this channel. So with that being said, see you guys later.